one very wise homeschool mama, friend of mine, Miss Holly, she told, I think both of us probably at one point, just pick one thing and just do that one thing that day and then call it a success. And then whatever else you do is bonus.
Hey everyone, this is Yvette Hampton. Welcome back to the Schoolhouse Rocked Podcast. I'm back with Crystal Coleman, my bestie for the resty.
Aw.
And you really are.
Yeah.
We're going to be friends until the day we die.
Yeah. Will it be at the same time?
Probably not.
Okay.
I don't know.
I get to go first?
Yeah. I don't know. One of us will get to go to heaven first. But
We don't
God
know.
ordains our days.
Yeah.
But here's the cool thing. We're best friends here on earth.
Uh-huh.
But then when we get to heaven, do you wonder, will we know? Will we know each other in heaven? Will we know our spouses and our children?
That's an interesting theological question I'm not really sure about, but what I think is we're just so enamored with getting to be in the presence of God that overtakes everything. But I could be wrong. I don't know.
The Bible's not specific about any of that.
Oh, I'm sure there's teachings on it that I don't know
sure
yet.
Probably. At least
I'm too busy homeschooling you, Yvette.
I mean, but you're homeschooling. You're teaching your kids the Bible.
I should know this. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there's a whole lot in the Bible.
Mm.
And I've never
sure
read
Garrett
that in
has
the
something
Bible.
to say.
He might.
Mm-hmm.
I should ask him that.
I bet he knows.
I'm sure I have asked him that.
Okay.
I think I know his answer, but I won't say what I think his answer is because I don't want to put words into his mouth.
That's a wise wife right there. Did you tell everybody what you did in the surprise with Brooklyn's party?
Oh.
And how you know your husband really, really well. Is that
this is funny. Okay.
Is that okay to say?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So Crystal and Katie got their plane tickets to come out to surprise Brooklyn for her 18th birthday. And we've been planning this for a few months.
Yeah.
Because this is what Brooklyn wanted. She was like, all I want for my birthday is to see Katie. And the funny thing is we got tickets for Brooklyn to go to California to see Katie. But you got tickets and came here. And so at her co-op, her friends kind of planned this surprise party, but it was really to surprise her with her friend, Caitlin. Well, Garrett, this is one of the things I love most about my husband.
He's so honest.
He is the most honest man and he cannot lie.
Right.
He genuinely cannot lie. I never, ever have worried about him being unfaithful to me because he cannot. I'm not saying he's never lied. He's not perfect, but he says what's on his mind. And so years ago, we had some friends who were going to surprise Lacey for her birthday. Apparently this is a thing with us. I don't know.
You love surprises.
I do love surprises.
You're the idea person.
And we've moved a lot. And so we had some really good friends of ours. They were driving to Georgia to surprise Lacey for her 10th birthday. Well, Lacey, of course, it was a surprise. She wasn't supposed to know anything about it. Well, for weeks leading up to this, Garrett would just be thinking out loud and he would say, so when the Lannies come, we can do this, this, and this. And I'd be like, shh. Well, this happened several times. So I was like, okay, when I found out you were coming, I was like, I can't tell him because he will just say, when Crystal and Katie are here, blah, 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 blah. And Brooklyn would immediately catch on to that. Lacey never caught on to it, but she was 9 and she just wasn't in that mindset. Brooklyn would absolutely. So I didn't tell him till 3 days before you came.
That's amazing.
That he was coming and he was not upset at all. I mean, it was so funny. He was like, oh yay. He was so happy and he's so happy that you're here. But it was pretty funny because I actually didn't want him to have the pressure of having to keep it a secret because he doesn't enjoy surprises and secrets like I do. And it was hard for me to keep it a secret. So
I think that's an amazing example of knowing your husband. I was telling some of my California friends how excited I was about the surprise. And I told them that you had not even told Garrett yet. And they said, whoa, you have to know your husband really well to do that. And you did. That's what he would have wanted.
I wouldn't surprise just anything on him. I wouldn't spring anything like this on him. But I knew that he would be so happy for you guys to come. And so it was kind of, it was a unique
your hubby.
situation. I do.
I think that's something homeschooling's taught me too. Isn't that weird? To know your husband is really important.
Yeah.
Being a student of your husband and your kids.
Yeah. That's a perfect segue into knowing our kids. And as we know our kids, we know what they need for their homeschooling. And sometimes our kids might need BJU Press Homeschool.
Hey, yeah.
Wasn't that awesome?
That was smooth.
I know. I'm a professional. BJUPressHomeschool.com. We really are so grateful for them sponsoring this podcast because without them and without the support of you, our listeners, we would not be able to do what it is that we do. And so they have fantastic Christian curriculum for any age, any subject, check them out at bjupresshomeschool.com. And their consultants will help you too. If you don't know what it is that you need, call them up and they will help walk you through it and figure out what you need. So
awesome.
bjupresshomeschool.com.
I've heard good things about them. Yeah, BJU Press Homeschool.
They're fantastic.
That's awesome.
And speaking of .coms, we were talking, this is so funny. We were talking about friendship in the first episode.
Oh, yeah.
And remember, we were like, call 1-800-FRIEND. So then during one of the breaks, I was like, oh, we should maybe look that up and see what it is. So
we were like, don't call. What if they call it? What if it's a bad number?
Right. What if it's a bad number? Well, apparently, I don't know if this is actually 1-800-FRIEND, but I just Googled 1-800-FRIEND and it came up with the friendship line, which was the Institute on Aging.
Just in case when we get old, we need our Institute for Aging.
So when you're really old and you need a friend, call the Institute on Aging. At apparently 1-800-FRIEND. Hopefully you don't have to do that. Hopefully you have friends in your co-op and in your community who do life with you. And you know, Crystal and I live, 2,000 miles away from each other, 1,500 miles away from each other, something like that. And we still do life together.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't see each other.
Sometimes over the phone.
We see each other a couple times a year, maybe. But oftentimes it's over the phone. Sometimes on FaceTime.
Yep.
Sometimes through text messaging, sometimes through Voxer. Like we find ways to just communicate with each other and encourage each other. And I'm grateful for modern technology that allows us to be able to do that. So
it's so important to stay connected to your homeschool friends and mamas and just have those people that'll encourage you in the Lord.
Yes.
And I know you do that for me and just a sounding board. And if I need somebody to pray for me, then I will go to you and say, but please pray. Yeah. I've got this issue going on, whatever it is. And I know you're always going to be there and you'll pray for me. Not only that at that moment, but I know you and your whole family sit around at Bible time. And I know you'll pray for the Coleman family. Yeah. So I love going to you in prayer.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and we need to be that for one another, especially with homeschooling, because there's so much, as we've been talking about this week, we have a lot on our plates. It's a lot of responsibility. So as you've looked back on your years of homeschooling, what do you think has been the hardest thing for you?
Hardest thing in being a homeschool mom?
Yeah.
For me.
Like specifically homeschooling, not like the world of...
Are you talking academia? Or are you talking...
Yes. Because we talked about trying to juggle all the things. Because that's hard, juggling, our husbands and our kids in the home and all that. So that's hard. But I'm talking specifically like home educating your kids, the academic part of it.
Unfortunately, it's back to kind of a selfish thing on my part of realizing that my kids are not me. I think that was the hardest thing for me. It's not specifically a certain subject that was difficult to teach. It was more me wrapping my mind around, oh, my daughter doesn't have my math brain, or, oh, my daughter is gifted in art. What do I do with that? Because that's not me. And it's really honestly, I'm just so self-centered sometimes. And it's again, the Lord's character development. It helps me see like, oh, okay, you need to really get in the mind of your child and who she is and who I've created her to be. Who is she uniquely? And I think that that's been probably the hardest thing for me to do. And then to just craft for her that specific upbringing and development. So my son is a lot more like me, so he's kind of easier for me. But really trying to foster the uniqueness of my children. I think that's been the hardest thing for me. But if I was going to pick academia, like the thing that we tried to tackle in a subject matter, the hardest thing for me to do would probably... We did classical conversations. So wrestling Latin has been not easy. Latin's hard. And it just feels like gymnastics for my brain.
I think it feels like gymnastics for everybody's brains.
I think I go cross-eyed and I think, So that's been really challenging, but I've loved the opportunity to read more literature. So I've also loved the richness that came with struggling through the homeschool. And getting to read all the classics and with my kids and discuss them in classes and write papers on them. My writing has gotten better because I'm a homeschool mom. Yeah. So I guess I feel like I've gotten to redeem my education. Yeah. So thank Classical Conversations for that.
I love hearing you say that because you said you're redeeming your education and you're a teacher.
Oh, yeah.
And so, I feel like for all of us, like we're redeeming some part of it. Like, I don't feel like you really needed to redeem math because you got math. You understand that. But writing and reading better literature and more literature and all those things, it is, I think, such a beautiful part of home educating our kids. I know for myself, and I've shared this lots of times, and you know this about me, I was a horrible student.
Mm-hmm.
Horrible. As a matter of fact, I was telling you the other day when I was a freshman in high school, I went to a different high school than the one I graduated from. I went to the big Catholic school in our town, and I wanted to be a cheerleader. And so I tried out, and I did great in the tryouts, and they came to me and they said, "You did great. You made the tryouts, you made the team, but you can't be a cheerleader because your GPA is too low."
That is so sad.
I think you had to have a 2.5 and I had a 2.0.
Okay.
Something like that. But I was a terrible student. And so that really scared me going into homeschooling because I was like, I was a horrible student. How in the world am I going to teach my kids? And I have definitely not done it perfectly by any means, but
I remember it's like potty training too, though. Like you get so frustrated, like, oh, they're not going, it's not working. And then some smart, wise mama told me they're not going to be 18 and still in diapers. Right. It's going to happen. And I thought, okay, I believe you. And the same thing for reading and for math. Yeah. They're not going to be 18 and not be able to read a book. Right. I mean, unless they have a severe handicap, in which case, then there's just a different road for them. And you'll figure that out as a mama. Right. And be able to train them and get them adaptive care or whatever kind of help that they need. But, you know, most of our babies can learn to read, but it comes at different times, and it doesn't have to match what the book says or what the public school system says or anything like that, because they're all unique. Right. Yeah. And they learn differently. Incredible, because that's how God made us. Like he made us with just the natural ability to learn. We don't necessarily have to sit down with our kids and do a worksheet with them for them to understand that 2 + 2 = 4. A lot more times it's better to take a couple rocks outside in the park and go, hey, look at these two and these two. Let's count them all up. Right. And they just learn naturally. Little. Yeah. That's how God created our brains to function. And so, ooh, most of my favorite toys are sticks and rocks. Sticks and stones. Well, bones. And animal cookies and goldfish crackers. They're good things too. Goodness. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. We want to thank all of our sponsors for making this show possible: BJU Press Homeschool, CTC Math, Apologia, and Summit Ministries. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do this. Visit the show notes for links to these great companies and thank them for supporting the Schoolhouse Rocked podcast. We are back with Crystal. All right. So pretend you're talking to a brand new homeschool mom, which I know you've talked to lots of brand new homeschool moms. Yeah, in our co-op all the time. Sweet mamas come in. They're so sweet. And they're like, I don't know what I'm doing. How do I do this homeschool thing? Or maybe the mom who's really struggling. Like she's maybe in her first year, or maybe she's in her 10th year. And she's just really struggling. She's like, I don't know if I can do this another day. What would you say? How would you encourage those moms? Well, I think always, whatever you feel called to, the Lord will equip you with. So if you're called to homeschooling, you don't need to worry, and just take it one day at a time. Yeah. Be patient with yourself, talk to your husband, and communicate a lot with him if he's willing to be involved. And if he gives you the reins, then just go to God, and he'll guide you and direct you as you're in scripture every day. And you pray to him, he'll help you see what you need to do. Once you're kind of a little bit further down the road into it and you are homeschooling, a lot of moms feel overwhelmed with all the different things. Yep. And one very wise homeschool mama, friend of mine, Miss Holly, she told, I think both of us probably at one point, just pick one thing and just do that one thing that day, and then call it a success. And then whatever else you do is bonus. And so when they're really little, that could be, I'm going to sing a scripture memory verse, or it could be if you're a little bit older and math is super important. That's your one thing all year you want to get done so that you can feel like, hey, we did something this year. We did math this year. Yeah. Then go for it and pick that one thing. But I think having that narrowed down mindset is helpful, because life just gets thrown at you sometimes. And oh my goodness, it's time to go to church and we're late. And now there's the diaper to change because I just changed you, but now you just went again. But we're supposed to be going out the door right now. And that kind of stuff happens all the time. Yeah. And as homeschool moms, we just have to roll with it and not worry about it. So I think, again, trusting the Lord, being in God's word, praying every day, and then having other homeschool moms like this podcast, listening to this podcast. Just listen to this podcast all the time and keep getting encouragement for yourself through other believers. I think it's super important. I think that's what I would tell both the struggling homeschool mom and a new mom. Yeah.
Which, by the way, this is a good place to plug the Homeschool Insights podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if you guys listen to that, but that's like our sister podcast. And that one is 5 days a week, and it's just 10 minutes or less of just kind of like power snippets of encouragement for homeschooling and family discipleship and all of those things. So if you guys haven't heard that podcast, listen to that. This one, of course, the Schoolhouse Rocked podcast is 3 days a week, parts 1, 2, and 3. But the Homeschool Insights podcast is 5 days a week. And it's just constant encouragement all the time.
That's like my magic beans.
Yeah.
You know, my chocolate covered espresso beans that I call magic beans.
Yeah.
Your little insights is like taking your 5 little espresso chocolate covered beans and going, whoa, yes, okay, I can do this today.
Such good stuff. So, okay, I'm going to put you on the spot here because you said something at the beginning of that answer. You said, if you're called to homeschooling, do you believe that every parent is called to homeschool their kids?
I think that yes. However, there's situations where a mama, figuring out how to get that to practically work out, like a single mom who can't figure out how to afford food and a place to stay at the moment, can't do it in that moment. I think there are times when you for sure need support somehow. And if that support hasn't arrived, it might take a while to figure out how to do that. I would love for all mamas to be able to homeschool. I know we're supposed to teach our children when we rise up, when we walk along the road, and when we lie down, and doing that with them away at school all day.
Right.
You can't do the along the way very well.
Right.
Because you've lost them for 7 hours.
Yeah.
So I would encourage mamas that can homeschool to homeschool. I just know that, I guess my caveat would be those mamas who just can't quite figure out how to get it, be able to do it, you know?
And I agree. And I think this is where the church needs to come in and step in and, you know, maybe a retired homeschool mom whose kids are grown and out of the home, and they can come alongside that mom for that season and just say, let me help you, you know, can I take your kids for a few days a week and teach them so you can go to work or whatever. And so yeah.
A little thing with that, you know, Grandma Nellie that I was talking about, she was so sweet. The gal at church in the first episode we talked about, she had said that her kids went from homeschooling to a private school for 2 years. And she noticed a marked difference in a disimprovement in their behavior and their attitude toward grown-ups.
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting because, you know, you always want what you don't have a little bit, or you think, oh no, there's always that thing that's better than what I'm doing.
Right.
I think so. Sometimes when we're in the homeschool world, if we don't have a really strong conviction about it, or we just question what we're doing, we'll think, oh, maybe I should put them into this or that or the other thing. And just be confident that what the Lord's allowed you to do, go with it and don't worry about the other things. The grass is always greener, as they say. Yeah.
Okay. You ready for trivia?
I think I'm going to fail this because I've known you too long.
Why would you fail? You should know every answer to every one of these questions.
I know. That's why I'm nervous. And I'm a teacher. You know, tests make me nervous.
It's not math.
But do I get graded?
No,
I don't get a gold star. Do I get a gold star at the end?
Yes, I'll give you a gold star.
Even if I fail?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of socialism or communism, isn't it? Okay, I'll be capitalist. I'll take my F.
I'll give you a participation trophy.
Oh, no.
How's that?
We're terrible.
Okay. Are you ready? We're going to see how well my BFTR, my bestie for the rusty, Crystal Coleman, actually knows me.
Do you actually have the answers written down, or are you making them up as you go?
The answers? Well, of course not. They're answers about me. I already know the answers to these things. Sure? I don't have to write them down.
Okay.
That's like having to write down my name every day.
Okay, but there's usually an answer key that's written down.
It's in my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
I trust you.
Okay, you ready? All right.
Yeah.
First question, what's my favorite color?
Gray?
No. Gray?
Well, it's a shade. Blue?
No. Oh, pink? Dear, you are failing this miserably.
Pink, silver.
No.
You wear those colors.
Yeah, I do.
In all fairness, aqua?
That is one of them. That sometimes gets bumped to the top of my list, but my favorite color has been the same for many, many years.
What?
It's orange. But I don't look great in the color orange, so I don't usually wear orange. I know. But it's
See,
not my skin tone color. You know, there's the winter, summer.
Do you know mine? Fall. Mine has changed over the years, so it's not fair.
Gray, silver.
I don't really have one.
Oh.
I I love white.
Wait, you
but
can't
that's a
turn
shade.
this on me. I can't fail a test on my own podcast.
But it
That's
used
not
to be
fair.
pink. I used to be like a firm pink.
Oh, yeah?
But not anymore, really.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
orange. And I don't mean like, construction orange.
Oh, you don't?
No, I like
peach.
No, not peach. I don't even know.
Burnt sienna.
Okay, sure. We'll go with that.
Okay.
Yeah, like a reddish orange.
Like fall.
Yeah.
Do you like fall?
Like
Is that your favorite
love
season?
Fall. Oh, I love the colors of fall. Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
Yes,
I'm derailing this because I'm nervous
season.
about the test.
Okay. Okay, so orange. So we've come to the conclusion. Orange is my favorite color.
Orange is your favorite color.
Yes.
Okay,
you ready?
That's -1.
What's my favorite food?
Like of all time? Like we're talking desserts and dinners and everything?
Like if I could choose to eat anything. Now, this is a hard one for me because,
because I know you a lot. Like there's the chocolate chip calzone. You love that. We used to go get that all the time at Claim Jumper.
Yes.
There's sushi. You like sushi, like a poke bowl.
That's one of my tops. Yes, I love sushi.
Okay. And then,
oh, you know this one.
I know this one.
You absolutely know this one.
There's, marshmallows and Lucky Charms, of course.
You just hit it on the head.
Okay, yeah.
Lucky Charms.
Have you told them how you ate your earplug thinking it was a marshmallow?
Oh, dear. Oh, no.
Oh, no, I just got you in trouble.
Oh, this is so funny. Okay, now I guess I have to tell this story. We're going way over, but that's okay. This is so embarrassing. This was years ago. I mean, this was like, probably since the girls were born. So maybe like 15 years ago or more. I was having a dream. This is so funny. I sleep with, oh my goodness. You guys are learning a lot about me this week.
Is this not okay?
No, totally. They can know this. This is real, that we're real moms, right?
We're real mom.
So I sleep with one earplug in my ear. I always sleep on my side, always, but I flip around, from side to side. And I always sleep with one earplug in whatever ear is like pointing out. So, my pillow covers the other earplug in the other ear. And I'm so good at this that as I like roll over in bed, I switch the earplug in my sleep. Well, one night, apparently, I don't know what I was dreaming about, but
Lucky Charms, so apparently.
Probably Lucky Charms. And I in my dream, somehow put my, this is so gross. Somehow I put my earplug in my mouth as I was sleeping in real life. And it became in my dream a little marshmallow. And I was trying to eat the marshmallow and like dissolve it. And in my dream, I couldn't figure out why the marshmallow wasn't dissolving.
So gross.
And realized that I was literally eating my earplug. It's so disgusting. So gross. Oh dear. This is what happens when you come on the podcast with me. So yes, I woke up to eating my actual earplug.
This should just be titled Yvette Reveals All.
I did not swallow it, thankfully. But I woke up and I was like, what is in my mouth? And realized it was not, in fact, a marshmallow, but
really
my
gross,
earplug. Yeah,
but really
so moving
hilarious.
On to the next question.
Okay.
Yes, I do. I love sushi and Lucky Charms.
Yeah,
are like my two favorite foods. If I could choose.
Okay,
and
so
steak.
I got him.
You got him.
And
I love steak too.
I was thinking
or
steak.
like prime rib. Oh,
steak I was thinking was another one.
Yeah,
okay.
I love a good cut of beef.
I get credit for that one, right?
Medium rare.
I got 2 out of 3.
Yeah,
do I get
that
2
was awesome.
points? And now it's like a 4-point quiz.
You're actually keeping track of these, aren't you?
Well, kind of, yeah.
All right, you ready? You're going to know this one too. I'm certain.
I don't think I am.
Yes, you do.
Oh, yes, I am.
Yes, you do. Hume-like. I didn't even ask the question yet. You saw it.
I saw it.
Okay, my favorite place on earth.
Hume-like.
Hume-like Christian
For sure,
camps.
Yes.
Hume-like Christian camps, Sequoia National Forest, Kings Canyon, Northern California is my hands down favorite place on earth. It's where I became a Christian. August 2nd, 1989 was, I heard a message on bogus or bona fide belief. And I remember that was the moment that the Lord just captured my heart.
Wow.
And I realized that my faith needed to be my own. And so I've spent a lot of time at Hume Lake. I've worked up there as a counselor, as a camper. I've gone to retreats. I actually worked there at the camp one summer.
I didn't know that.
Just at the end of summer. Yeah, for a few weeks. And so, yeah, I love Hume Lake. So our California listeners will know, or those from California, you'll know probably what Hume Lake is or where Hume Lake is.
My sister-in-law was saved at Hume too.
Was she?
Yeah. Wagon train. Yeah, it's good. It's amazing.
It's an incredible place.
Go if you can.
I mean, you want to see the beauty of God's creation, go up to the Sequoia National Forest. I mean, it's amazing.
Okay,
so,
I got the point.
Yeah, you got it.
So
okay,
excited.
so Hume Lake. All right, my favorite movie. I think even our listeners know this.
Oh dear, I don't listen to enough of the episodes. Well, I know you love Elf. But that's a Christmas movie.
That's my favorite Christmas movie.
Wait, I know this.
You do know this.
Oh no, I'm blanking though. But I know it. Can we come back to it?
It has to do with Princess and Brides.
Oh, the Princess Bride. You cheated on that. Do I get half credit? Because I got Elf.
Okay, fine. Because that was my favorite Christmas movie, even though I didn't say Christmas.
But it's Christmas time, so I'm in the Christmas mode.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm sorry I didn't say
that's
Princess
okay.
Bride.
That's okay.
We watched Ever After the other night. That was fun.
We did
I'd
watch
never
Ever
seen
After.
it.
I couldn't believe you had never seen it, but I've never
really
watched
cute.
Pride and Prejudice, and you were like, "What?"
Oh, it's my favorite of all time. You still haven't seen it.
No, we might have to watch
It's a
that
shame.
tonight.
It's really a shame.
It's really sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might have to watch that in honor of you. But yes, Princess Bride is my favorite movie. Okay. Ready? Favorite book of the Bible?
Yours, James.
It is James.
Yes.
Yeah.
I knew that one for sure.
Love the book of James.
Yes.
So good.
Okay, I crushed that one.
You crushed it. Okay. You're going to know this one too. And our listeners know this one too.
Uh-huh.
Favorite music artist?
Oh, Shane and Shane.
Shane and Shane.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
We were listening to their Christmas album this morning.
Oh, yeah.
I love
They're great.
Shane. They're just,
It's scripture.
they're so wholesome.
Yeah.
They sing scripture. Like there's so I'm just going to say it. There is so much garbage, quote unquote, Christian music out there today.
There is.
And I just can't listen to it.
Yeah.
And so not all of it is, of course, but a lot of it is. And it's got that like stamp of, we're Christian music artists. And I'm like, what are you singing about? And I love Shane and Shane because they sing hymns, they sing scripture, and that's about it. And so it's,
thank you, Shane and Shane, for making good music.
One day, maybe, do they homeschool their kids? I wonder.
I don't know.
I'm going to have to find that out.
Okay.
Oh, I'll invite them to be on the podcast.
Aww.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That'd be fun. Anyway. Okay. Last one. You ready?
Yep. I know the answer.
Do you? Okay.
I do.
That's my favorite ice cream, but you have to be specific. I'm going to see how well you really know me.
No.
Favorite ice cream?
Ralph's Select Chocolate Chip.
Ralph's? No.
Von Select.
Okay, you got the
Safeway
flavor.
Select Chocolate Chip.
No.
Thrifty Chocolate Chip.
Yes. But you're missing just one word.
Chocolate
Thrifty's cherry.
Cherry chocolate chip.
Yes.
I didn't know it was the cherry.
Yeah.
I just knew chocolate chip.
Well, okay. So growing
You've
up,
always said chocolate chip.
it
I
is
don't think
chocolate chip,
this is
but
a fair question.
Well, maybe not. Because here's the thing. Growing up, my favorite ice cream was chocolate chip from Baskin Robbins
Oh,
with marshmallow cream.
of course.
For marshmallows.
You do. You love
I love
marshmallows.
marshmallows. With marshmallow cream, rainbow sprinkles, and a cherry. That's like my
so
dad and
you.
I would ride our bikes
Yeah.
to Baskin Robbins because it was just like down the street from my house.
Mhm.
So we would ride our little bikes there. Well, his wasn't little, mine was little. And we would get ice cream. That was one of my like greatest memories with my dad. And I would always get the same thing. And even into my adult life, people would say to me, you should try to order something different, like branch out. And I would order something different, like Rocky Road, because that's a grown-up ice cream.
It has marshmallows.
Yeah, but I just don't like it.
It
And every time I
nuts.
try something different, I'm disappointed.
Oh,
Right.
what about
So-
chocolate chip mint?
Yeah, it's okay. Mint chocolate
Okay.
chip is okay, but I don't love it.
It's the best.
Yeah, I know you like that. But then years ago, Rite Aid, Thrifty became Rite Aid, and Rite Aid still sells Thrifty ice cream. And they, many years ago, came out with their cherry chip, which is chocolate chip with maraschino cherries in it. And it is the perfect ice cream.
I think we need to go get some right now.
But we don't have a Rite Aid here where I live.
What? You
I
guys don't
know.
have Rite Aid in Tulsa?
No.
Oh,
And I know.
I'm
It's
sorry.
sad. It's sad.
Okay.
And most Rite Aids that I go to don't have an ice cream shop.
We have it in North County.
So
can come
we should
see
go
me.
to California. This is all the
Yeah.
reason we should move back to California.
Right.
So I could eat ice cream.
Yep, and live near me.
And live near Crystal. Oh man. Okay, that was fun. So you know me very well.
Yay!
Thank you.
I get at least a half a sticker.
Yeah. Oh dear. Well, this has been so fun, Crystal. I mean, we could sit and talk for days and days. We do. I mean, this is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
We're in like day 4 of you being at my house.
Yeah.
We never run out of things to talk about.
Nope.
And I'm so grateful for that. And I think one of the main reasons is because our common bond is Jesus.
Absolutely. For
Like,
sure.
you
Yeah.
know.
It's so hard to be friends with people who don't love the Lord. Not that you
Yeah.
can't be, but there's that deepness of relationship that just can't
Yeah.
happen. Caitlin was talking about that just yesterday. Like she has a really hard time connecting with girls that don't have a real heart for Jesus.
Yeah.
And you're right. It's the key. It's the core.
Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
It makes for the best friendships
Yes.
in the world is Jesus. So anyway, thank you for being with me. It has been such a joy and a pleasure to have you with me this week and in my studio.
This is such a treat.
This has been so much fun. So thank you for your heart for Jesus and for your kids and for your homeschooling community where you live. I know you do a lot to serve them. And so I'm thankful for all that you do. And thanks for being my BFTR.
Oh,
I
thank
love
you
it
for
so
being
much.
my BFTR.
And
We
normally,
did the little heart thing
Yeah.
with our hands.
That's like the thing that the kids do.
Uh-huh.
Normally, I would say to my guests, so where can people find out more about you?
Oh,
Do not call 1-800-FRIEND.com.
Don't do that.
It's not going to get you very far. That's going to get you, into the, what is it? The anti-aging.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Aging friendships.
Yes. But
you
if
can
you
find
think
me
about
in
Crystal,
heaven when we all meet together
that's
someday.
Right. Yes.
How about that?
That is right. And thank you guys so much for being with us this week. I hope you have enjoyed our conversation with me and Crystal, just two regular homeschool moms who are just trying to survive this world and point our kids to Jesus.
Amen.
That's what matters most. I know we say it on the podcast all the time, but it's why we do what we do. So thank you for being with us. And again, you can find everything you need to know about the ministry at schoolhouserocked.com. You can make a donation. You can subscribe to our newsletter. You can watch the movie for free. If you're watching this on YouTube, would you guys hit that like and subscribe button and leave us comments? We try to respond to those as much as we can. But if you're listening to it, if you would leave a rating for us as well there, that would be amazing. We would appreciate that so much. Stay tuned at the very end to hear a clip of what's coming up next. And we will see you next week on the Schoolhouse Rocked Podcast. Have a great rest of your week. Bye.
A mom said to me one time, "Aren't you worried about sheltering your children?" And I said to her, "We care more about sheltering tomato plants in the culture right now than we do about our precious children." And so if someone wants to accuse me of sheltering my children, my answer is always absolutely yes. I will shelter my child until I know my child can stand up against the elements of the culture so that they can grow to maturity. And we slowly begin to remove the shelter from around them as we see that they are mature and that they understand the battle lines around them and can engage the culture from a position of strength rather than weakness.
I wrote down what we did after we did it. Well, that's not lesson planning. That was record keeping. I was good at it. And then as my children grew, when my oldest was in middle school and I realized she truly needed more structure, I started making real lesson plans where I wrote down what I wanted to do before we did it. But the reality is that my first set were too strict. So one day, now this was back in the day when they sold whiteout. I didn't even know if they sell that anymore, but there was a day I took whiteout across the top of my lesson planner, took all the dates out. What I realized is that I literally had a plan. I had an outline, but it wasn't date driven. Mm-hmm. It was simply, more or less, it became kind of like a weekly goal. Like it would be nice if we could do this much in history and this much science and this much math, because, I do have some goals. I want to finish these subjects by the end of the year, but it doesn't have to be this Wednesday.